Hi there. This is KK from Data Hat AI. And as usual, we're going to talk today about an interesting topic. This time, the topic is data and AI in fast moving consumer goods, FMCG. FMCG stands for things like soaps, things like fast fashion, things that you can actually use very quickly and finish and then get something else next time you need it. So, how is data and AI used in FMCG? Well, it's used across the board. It's used in everything to do with the customer experience, the operations, the innovation, uh, sustainability. Um, we're going to talk about a lot of these things, but suffice it to say, data and AI are at the core or every fast-moving consumer goods business. Well, let's dive in. So, what you have in front of you is a typical product lifecycle flow. And what does it look like? Well, there's a product design phase where the research and development folk actually understand the product that is being built, that needs to be built. They do market research with the strategy team, figure out what needs to be done. All of this is done with data. And then there is a prototype that's developed. They test that prototype out, they do some limited trials, they understand how well it works, that it has all the safety things that you need it to have. And then there is a production setup done based on markets. You might have more than one production line based on the regional situations. You'll have production setups for the casing. How are you going to pack them? How are you going to sell them? Is it going to be four in a pack, one in a pack? All of these things are decided and set up as you're doing the production setup. And then, of course, there's a marketing strategy. Marketing has been part of this entire effort till now. And then marketing actually understands how you're going to get this in front of customers, how you're going to acquire the customers. There is the entire campaign setup, etc. How you're going to get these people to actually test it out, try it. Are you going to sell through stores? Are you going to sell online? All of those things. And then there is a fulfillment. When somebody actually purchases it, then how do we actually deliver it to that person so they have a fulfilling good, positive experience? There's a logistics stage across the board from raw materials to actually getting stuff in front of the customers. And finance, of course, is involved from day one. And then, of course, this is not done. Once the customer has got the product, then it's time to actually understand how well they did it, customer satisfaction, customer services support, and there are returns sometimes that might happen. How do you take care of all of those things? And then, of course, customer loyalty. How do you build loyalty? Now, the most important thing across this whole process is that data and AI are part of every step of this process. Let's go a little deeper into this. But remember, this is just a general overview, so we're not going to actually go very, very deep. Take it with a grain of salt. Some of the things that we say here might be simplified for more people to understand. So let's talk about product development. We said we start with the product development. There is an R&D team, usually research and development, and oftentimes there are business units. These business units sit with the R&D teams and understand what products are going to be good for their market and how are they going to be actually tested out and deployed, etc. This all starts with data coming from market trends, from understanding previous understandings of the customer. What has the customer done with us before? What do we know about them? And then, of course, the R&D stuff. There's a lot of research happening, a lot of data being generated every time. What are the AI applications? Well, all these trends, etc., that you get from consumer insights, understanding the forecast, how big is the total addressable market going to be? How do you even simulate some of these testing scenarios when you may not have access to the actual product to be tested? You can actually do simulations, digital duplication, figuring out how you can actually run these products right from the beginning to end. So the product development is fully based on data and AI. Let's go on to manufacturing and supply chain. So smart manufacturing, as an example, consists of data being collected, consists of prototypes being checked and made to be ensured to be successful, production lines being set up, raw material supply chain being monitored. There's data collected at every step of the way, from raw material availability to actual delivery logistics. It is all based on data. And then the AI applications, all of this data, when it's collected, how do we predict what the inventory is going to be that's needed? Supply chain optimization, what's the demand? We don't want to store more inventory than you need to because it blocks up the amount of money. for the company. And then quality control, AI-powered quality control, as an example, using computer vision to check if there are errors, if there are mistakes, and then predictive maintenance to prevent equipment failures from happening before they actually happen. Because once a predictive maintenance doesn't work, if something actually fails, you may have to throw away entire batches of products, and the entire supply chain may be stuck for some time while the production issues are removed. So really important to look at the data and AI. Then let's talk about the marketing and sales part of it. So there is an entire go-to-market strategy that is created. This go-to-market strategy includes which sales channels we're going to put this product on. Where are we going to do the advertising? Are we going to sell this online? Are we going to sell this in retail? And then the marketing that's required next to it. How are we going to acquire these customers? How are we going to actually convert them into real paying customers? How are we going to make sure that they stay happy with our product? Well, all of this is based again on data from the campaign, the audience, understanding the customer demographics, the prospects, which prospects are most likely to convert to customers, to understanding the sales performance, to understanding the engagement with the ads, the click-through rates, the cost per click, et cetera, et cetera. And then being able to actually take all of this to create cohorts using AI. Which are the cohorts that are going to be actually most interested in our product? And then there is, customer segmentation. There's CRMs that are powered by AI. Customer data platforms now are a big thing as well. So how do you create these marketing campaigns? How do you create these personalized marketing campaigns based on the consumer behavior? And then, of course, there is a saying that 50% of ad spend is wasted. We just don't know which 50%. Well, the way to know that is with things like MMM, marketing media mix modeling, and the AI-driven ad spend. How do you put the right amount of ads out there at the right place so that our customers are happy? All of this is done with data and AI. Let's say if we're selling it on retail now and on e-commerce, there are two separate ways of actually making sure that you do shelf placement. So whether you're in a retail store, how do you know which shelf placement works best? How do you know where to keep a certain product? And if it's on a online store, how do you know which products to show to these customers so that you get most conversions? And so, whether it's digital or physical, shelf placement is really important. Brand promotion. How are we going to promote the brand? How are we going to discount the coupons? And how are we going to have events? How can we get more customers into the retail store? How can we get more customers into our online store as well? At each step of the way, this is all done with data, and that data is actually stored and it's collected and it's processed. And then we use AI applications to understand, to predict where should we be keeping these products? What should we be showing them? What are the recommendation engines that should be working with them? And also even the pricing strategy. So understanding what the pricing is at a certain geo area is an art and a science, which is again driven by AI, driven by data. So whether you're selling it on retail or whether you're selling it on e-commerce, fast-moving consumer goods need to really collect the data. Companies building those need to use a lot of AI to optimize how these are sold. And then if the customer is purchasing this thing, how do you fulfill that order? How do you make sure that it is available at the place where the customer needs it to be? How is the customer going to know when the product is going to be with them? If it's in a retail store, how do you make sure that they can actually come back and do a return? What is the time window for that? How do you collect the data for all of these things? If it's a uh, logistics, if it's actually online, then do you have it in stock to be shipped at the place that you need to ship it? Do you have the customs if it's going across borders? And then there is all of this data then has AI applications built on top of it. These demand forecasting, having the right product available to be fulfilling the orders that have been given by the customers is a huge, huge problem. And it's all AI driven. Smart orders, how do you know where these orders are going to go? How do you route it there? How do you know when it's going to get there? How do you predict that it's actually going to be there? How do you inform the customer if there is a problem in getting it to the customer? And then, of course, we haven't even talked about fulfillment using robots and how is the actual warehouse automated so that products can be stored properly and they can be moved very quickly. The entire process in FMCG for fulfillment is run on data and can be optimized with artificial intelligence. Let's talk a little bit about customer interactions, understanding how the customer is actually behaving. Did they like something? Did they not like it? What did they put online? What the comments they put? What was the customer service interaction that they had? Did they have a negative customer interaction? Did they try and return something that they had already purchased? Well, data is collected at every step of the way for this, and artificial intelligence applications are built for understanding the sentiment, understanding that customer behavior. There are chatbots that the customer service people can use as a first line of interaction. And then a human has to be available so that anytime a chatbot doesn't actually get to where it needs to get to, the human can actually take over. And then predictive analytics for things like loyalty programs. Loyalty programs are a great way to bring back customers, especially when customers are happy with the product, and even more, especially when customers bounce, when there's churn in the customers. How do you understand their entire process, and how do you make sure that your customers are happy customers? This is all done with data and AI. Logistics, we briefly touched upon this. Transporting these goods is just the lifeblood, right? It's actually how products actually get built and delivered to customers from the point that raw materials are pulled in to the time that something is delivered into a customer's hand. Logistics is underneath everything that is done. The data that's collected includes what are the best ways to get products to retail stores or to online locations, or what are the best ways to get the raw material into the right stores. Where do you even create your warehouses? Where do you create your production places? All of this is dependent upon logistics as well. And then the AI applications. Of course, the obvious ones are the route optimization, but also warehouse optimization. How do you create the logistics in a way that that is the most efficient, uses the least amount of resources, and is sustainable for the environment as well? And then, of course, logistics returns is a whole different area. If somebody doesn't like your product, how do we make sure that they have the ability to return that product in a simple and easy way so that it can actually go back either corrected, fixed, or put back on the sales side? And then truly, finance is the lifeblood of an organization. Everything moves when cash moves, and cash moves from all the way from supplier payments when you get these products, to inventory management, to actually when a customer purchases something. What is the data collected? Every transaction, whether it's a customer, a partner, or a supplier, everything is documented, collected, checked. Returns require purchase returns to happen. There's fraud reduction. Fraud reduction is a huge part of the problem, which is when somebody is trying to do fraud. And if you're doing this online or you're doing it in a retail store, how do you make sure that there wasn't somebody trying to use fraudulent means to do many different things? And then, of course, at the end of the day, optimizing the expenses, optimizing how we spend money is a huge part of fast moving consumer goods operations. So AI is used across the cycle, like we said, from customer acquisition to production to product design to prototype development to the marketing to actually fulfilling it. AI is the core to fast moving consumer goods success. Here at Data Hat AI, we can help you integrate AI into your fast moving consumer goods business, into the processes. Talk to us and we'll help you do this. So, how would we do this? Well, we would recommend that you invest in your talent. Uh, Data and AI is a culture problem, is a people problem. We have to help your talent get to where it needs to get to. We need to help you with your infrastructure. The data needs to be put into a place where you can collect it, where you can actually use it, where the errors have been removed, where a source of truth is there that can be trusted. The governance, the AI, all of that has to be built around it. And then agents, AI agents can be tested out small. You don't have to just use AI across the board. We can start small, begin with a pilot, begin with something that is an MVP that can be converted into a product, and you analyze the results and then move on, and then repeat as we learn more about these. And then, of course, the compliance part, depending on the industry you're in, making sure the countries that you're selling in, the regions that you're selling in, each of them have different requirements on the AI side. Working with your legal team, working with your compliance team, making sure that your data security, privacy, etc., AI governance really is in place for responsible AI. And of course, you should partner with tech partners, people who have actually done it before, people like us, happy to help. Reach out to us and we will help you. And then, of course, once you have done this, this is not a one and done. Once you have done the first release, you have to be able to go back again and improve your skills, increase your skills, and be able to deploy AI and AI agents across your company. Happy to help. Reach out to us on LinkedIn, reach out to us directly, and we will be more than happy to help. Send us an email at info@data-hat.com. Talk to you next time. This is KK from Data Hat AI.